Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Super Yoga session for balance.
Welcome to this power yoga balance practice. We're going to start kneeling and we're going to begin with the balance of the breath. So come down onto your knees. You'd like some support, separate the heels and rest your sitting bones back on a block. Otherwise, come into a traditional kneeling stance. Turn the palms down onto the thighs, allow the eyes to close, and take the attention inside. The Bhagavad Gita says that yoga is the balance of the mind. As we enter into this practice today, can that be at the forefront? It's not about the poses that you do or do not do. It's not about how many times you hold a pose or fall out. It's the quality that you're cultivating inside of yourself throughout. And so establishing that rhythm and that foundation of inner balance that is unshakable. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Through the nose, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath at the top just for 1, 2. Exhale out of the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay empty for 2, 1. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause and soften 1, 2. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Remain empty for 2, 1. Through the nose, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause 1, 2. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause 2, 1. Last time, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause 1, 2. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale, sigh the breath out. Begin to draw the breath in through the nose and along the back of the throat, cultivating that yogic sound of the breath. And free of any criticism or judgment, just from that dimension of awareness, already noticing the quality of balance that you are capable of cultivating. And knowing that that foundation is always there to meet you wherever this practice or life takes you. Staying with the rhythm of the breath. On an inhale, blink the eyes open. Bring the hands forward, come to all fours, removing any props off to the side as you find tabletop pose. And in tabletop pose with the wrists underneath the shoulders, on an inhale, lift the right leg up and back behind you. Start to turn your 5 right toes to the right. Start to bring your right leg all the way out over to the right until your foot is in alignment with your hip. And then lower the sole of your right foot all the way down onto the earth outside of your mat. Seal the blade of your right foot down. Keep that, and then tuck your left toes underneath you. Pause there. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, press the hips back toward the sitting bones as if you were going to sit on your left heel. Now that might be enough. You could stay there. Some of you might like a little bit more, and you might walk the hands forward almost as if you were going to bow into child's pose, keeping the legs like this. Continue to breathe here. So we're working on 2 things that are going to serve this practice. We're getting a deep stretch through the inseam of the right leg at the same time that we're stretching through the sole of the left foot, keeping those toes flexible and mobile And balance is a skill that could save your life. Once we go past the age of 65, the number one cause of death in healthy people is from falling down. So we are literally practicing a life-saving skill by waking your feet up. On an inhale, walk the hands back in, wrists underneath shoulders, pause there. On your next inhale, float your right leg up in alignment with your right hip, using all of those muscles. Then exhale, sweep the right leg straight back behind you, returning your 5 right toes down toward the earth, keeping them lifted. Then bend your right knee, flex your right foot toward the sky, and hold there. On an inhale, kick your right heel up toward the sky with your knee bent, so you activate the right glutes. Then exhale your right knee to your right elbow, tap and touch so you work the side waist. On an inhale, donkey kick that heel back up toward the sky. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, tap and touch just one more time. Inhale, donkey kick the heel toward the ceiling above. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Now on an inhale, reach your right leg straight back behind you, and exhale, step your right foot outside of your right hand at the top of the mat. Tuck your left toes under. Lift your left knee up and off of the earth, and then crawl to your back left leg, coming into Skandasana. So turn your left toes out, flex your right toes towards your face, sit your sitting bones down low to the extent that makes sense for your body today. Place your left hand inside of your inner left foot. Reach your right arm to the sky on an inhale, and this is a low version of Skandasana. In our fluidity practice, we're going to work with a higher variation of it. But for now, getting deep and down into the inner groin. Take one more inhale as you reach up. Exhale, place your right hand down, crawl all the way to the top of the mat once again. Turn the right toes forward, spin onto your back left toes. Take an inhale, pull your heart, your chest ahead. Then exhale, rock the hips back, straighten your right leg, fold over your right thigh, just the amount that's right for you. 2 more times. On an inhale, bend the right knee, pull the heart forward, get deep through the hips. Exhale, rock the hips back, flex maybe the right toes toward the face if you want to deepen in a little bit. 1 more time. On an inhale, bend the right knee, get long through the spine, the back. Exhale, rock the hips back and fold over the right thigh. On an inhale, re-bend the right knee. Plant the hands, and as you exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Pause in downward facing dog, and we're just going to pass through. Take 1 inhale here. Exhale, lower the knees down onto the mat. On an inhale, lift your left leg up and off the earth. Start to turn your 5 left toes to the left. Begin to reach your left leg all the way out over to the left, and then when the foot's in alignment with the hip, set it all the way down onto the earth. Sealing through the blade of the left foot, tuck your right toes under, and then start to press the hips back toward the right heel. Remembering that this foot might be different. Maybe you have a different history with this foot, different injuries. You could stay here or walk the chest forward and out. And then wherever you land, remember what St. Augustine said, which is that patience is the companion of wisdom. It requires patience to cultivate balance. So a slow start doesn't mean that you're going to be working any less challenging way, but you know that that patience is going to feed a deeper fire today. Walk the hands in. On an inhale, re-straighten the arms. Lift the left leg up and out of that left hip. Exhale it straight back behind you as you return your flexed foot, toes pointing toward the mat. Then begin to bend the left knee, pointing the sole of the foot to the sky, and on an inhale, pulse the heel toward the ceiling. Feel the left glute turn on. Then exhale, left knee to left elbow, tap and touch 1 time. Inhale the heel back up to the sky, a little flow. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, tap and touch. 1 more time to go. Inhale, left heel to the sky. Exhale, left knee, outer left arm as you connect. On an inhale, reach the left leg straight back. As you exhale, step the left foot outside of the left hand. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee up, and then crawl to Skandasana to your back foot. As you turn your right toes out, sink your sitting bones down. flex your left toes towards your face. Right hand inside of your right foot. Inhale your left arm to the sky today. Now finding your place in the pose. The sole of your right foot might be flat. For some of us, the heel might be up and off the mat. And know that over time, we'll build that mobility in the body. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, left hand comes down, crawl all the way to the top of the mat, finding that high runner's lunge. Inhale, hips drop a little low, heart lifts a little high. Exhale, rock the hips back as you fold inside. 2 more times. Inhale, re-bend the knee, reach through the chest. Exhale, rock the hips back, maybe flex the foot. On an inhale, re-bend the knee for a final time. Exhale, draw the sitting bones back. On an inhale, re-bend the knee, pause there, plant the hands, and step back to downward facing dog. As you find downward facing dog, take that moment, noticing that you are in alignment. Alignment at the level of the body. Alignment at the dimension of the breath. And in alignment at the dimension of the heart, as you cultivate what balance means for you today, remembering that it's something that we're always in relationship to. Take an inhale, press the thighs back. As you exhale, look forward, step your right foot outside of your right hand, step your left foot outside of your left hand, Malasana Yogi style squat, hands to the heart. Grounding through the legs. On an inhale, press and rise all the way up to stand. Circle the arms to the sky. Catch and interlace everything but the first finger up and overhead. Take an inhale as you grow a little tall. Then exhale, lean to the right. Take a sweet side stretch. On an inhale, back through the center. Exhale, up and over to the left. Inhale, back through the midline. Exhale, sit back down to Malasana, hands to the heart. Plant the palms down, shoulder distance. Take an inhale here. Then as you exhale, jump back to chaturanga with your elbows bent. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, your heart lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog, press your way up and back. Now we're going to build on this a little bit, but that first variation is a variation that you could do every single time we flow through this. How we build from here is optional. Take an inhale, press the hips up and back. As you exhale, look forward, either step or hop to Malasana, feet around the hands. On an inhale, press and rise to stand, circle the arms and interlace overhead. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, roll back up through the center. Exhale, up and over to the left. Inhale to the middle. Exhale, squat all the way back down. Plant the hands to the mat. Take a breath. Now, optional to start to lift the hips up. Begin to walk your knees high up on your triceps. And as you gaze a little bit forward, maybe you come into Bakasana, crow pose as we flow. But you could always just hop back to chaturanga. Take an inhale here. Chaturanga, exhale, toes back, heart forward. Inhale, cobra, up dog, you rise. Exhale, down dog. Now you know what's coming. Let's flow through it 2 times. Inhale, hips up and back. Exhale, look forward, hop to Malasana, feet around the hands. Inhale, stand, interlace up and overhead. Exhale, tilt toward the right. Inhale to the middle, tall. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale to the center. Exhale, re-bend the knees. Plant the palms down on an inhale. Walk the knees up on the arms as you exhale. Gaze a little bit forward, maybe Bakasana, you float. Send the toes back, elbows bend, lower slow. Inhale, up dog or cobra, you flow. Exhale, downward facing dog, just 1 to go. Take an inhale, lift the hips up to the sky. Exhale, look forward, bend the knees, hop to Malasana, knees bent. Rise to stand, inhale, steeple mudra, up and overhead. Exhale, takes you to the right side of the space. Inhale to the middle with grace. Exhale, up and over to the left. Inhale, grow to the center. Exhale, re-bend and sit deep. Plant the hands down onto the mat. Inhale, lift the hips a little bit. Maybe find Bakasana, a moment to float. Exhale, chaturanga, lower slow. Inhale, up dog or cobra, you rise. Exhale, downward facing dog, really nice. Take a deep inhale through the nose and let's balance the nervous system. Open the mouth, exhale, sigh the breath out. 2 more like that. Inhale, full breath in. Out the mouth, exhale, full breath out. One last time, inhale, pull it deep. Open the mouth, exhale, it's how we release. Take an inhale, drive the thighs back. Look forward as you exhale, bend the knees, step or hop, feet to meet your hands. On an inhale, pull the chest out and firm the thighs back. Exhale, fold in a little deep. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Utkatasana, chair pose as you lift the arms to the sky and you pause. And as the inner thighs hug in, keep what you have and just start to float the left knee up and in toward the chest. Stack the left thigh tightly over the right, and then hook the left elbow underneath the right, coming into Garudasana, eagle pose. Your hips stay square toward the top of the space, and as you lift your elbows up, maybe you sit a little bit deep. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, flow your elbows past your knees as you curl into a little ball, and you just negotiate balance today. Inhale, lift the crown of the head, and we're going to do it twice more. Exhale, elbows past the knees. The slower you go, the stronger you get. Inhale, lift the crown of the head back up. Exhale, take the elbows past the knees, and if you fall out of it, guess what? You get a little dopamine firing in the brain. Inhale, lift the chest up, hold there. Keep the arms as they are. Refine chair pose with the legs. Unwind the left leg. Place the left foot down next to the right, both feet side by side. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, start to twist to the right. Take your elbows outside of your right knee. So you find twisting chair pose with eagle variation in the arms as you squeeze. Inner thighs hugging in. Keep what you have. Place the weight into the right foot and start to hover the left heel up and off the mat. Now here's a question for you. How's your breath? Take one more deep inhale here. As you exhale, step your left toes to the back of the mat. Then left hand comes down toward the earth. Right arm comes up toward the sky. Shoulders are open. Chest spreads wide. You could stay here. Left hand could be outside of your front left foot. Right arm up toward the ceiling. Start to turn your right hand to face behind you. Start to drop your right hands behind your back. You could stay here. Maybe your left hand comes underneath you, and maybe you start to find the bind as you catch and interlace the hands. And as you see Linda and Rachel here doing, they're going to grab a strap and they're going to make do so that their hands can connect. Wherever you decide to be, know that we'll meet you. Take a breath. If you have the binds, look down and step your left foot up to meet your right at the top of the mat, still intertwining with the hands. Shift the weight into the left foot, hugging the right knee into the chest, press and rise all the way up to stand. And when you get to the top, maybe kick that right leg straight forward as you find a twisting, bound bird of paradise. That shit's intense. Take a second and acknowledge yourself. What balance means for you today might mean I'm not doing this. Take an inhale wherever you are. As you exhale, lower your right foot down onto the mat if it lifted. Return the weight into the right foot and then step the left toes to the back of the mat. Release the left hand down, reach the right arm toward the sky as those arms spread wide. And then on an inhale, reverse your warrior. Cartwheel it all the way open. Left arm back behind you. Right arm out ahead. Seal the blade of the left foot flat and come into reverse warrior as you reach the right arm up and overhead and stretch back. Take one more inhale as you extend. Warrior two as you exhale. Hold there and pause. Take the gaze out toward the horizon. Do what you need to do to care for yourself, which might mean closing your eyes. It might mean titrating your experience. If something is really intense right now, let's say there's a lot of sensation in your right thigh, what if you were to put your attention somewhere that feels good to be with, like your breath in the space of your heart, that allows you to stay and maintain? Take one more inhale as you spread. Exhale, straighten the front right leg. Hold there. Start to heel toe the back left foot in several inches. And as you shorten up the stance, take an inhale. Begin to reach the right arm forward as you exhale. Slip the right hip back. Right hand to right shin, left arm to the sky. Trikonasana, triangle pose. You could always place a block underneath the right hand. As you reach the left arm up, you come into the most stable pose in existence. Now, the great spiritual teacher, Krishnamurti, was once speaking to a lecture hall full of people. And all of a sudden, he looked at the audience and he said, "Do you want to know what my secret is?" And the whole audience leaned in. And quietly he said, "You see, I don't mind what happens." So as we move through these poses, you don't mind what happens, whether you maintain the balance in the pose or not. You're just here practicing the yoga of the mind. Take one more deep breath in. Start to turn your gaze down as you exhale. Begin to bend your right knee, shift your right hand forward, and then float up into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. You might put a block underneath your right hand for support. And as you kick your left leg back, keep what you have, take an inhale here, then exhale your top left arm all the way up and over the crown of your head. Reach your left arm away from your left leg, see how long you can get. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to bend your left knee, start to bend your left elbow, tap and touch them together as you work your side obliques. Then inhale, spread those limbs back out wide, 3 more like that. Exhale, elbow to knee, tap and touch. I don't mind what happens. Inhale, send it all the way back out. Exhale, elbow to knee as you contract. Inhale, grow wide and extend. Last time, exhale, elbow to knee, tap and touch. Inhale, reach it all out. Hold there. Send the left arm back up toward the sky. Deep breath in. Begin to bend your right knee. Float step your left foot back. Reverse your warrior on an inhale. Right arm circles overhead. Exhale as you cartwheel both hands down to the mat. Hold there. Spin onto your back left toes. Start to shift your fingertips forward. And on an inhale, rise up to warrior 3. Float your left leg parallel to the mat. Float your hands to your heart. But if today you need a little more support, you can keep your hands on blocks underneath your chest. There's always a place for you. On an inhale, press and rise all the way up to stand. Let the left knee float up into the chest and hold there. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Reach down with the first 2 fingers of your left hand. Hook the left big toe. You could stay here. On an inhale, maybe you start to extend the left leg out towards straight. But you don't have to. Keeping your spine up tall, you might maintain a bend in the lifted left knee. Inhale for height. As you exhale, start to open the left leg out toward the left side. See if the hips can maintain side by side. And if you come out of it, it's about how you come back in. Cultivating grace. On an inhale, back down through the center, hold there. Right hand outside of the left foot or knee. Reach the left arm behind you and take a little twist. Extending the left arm back, you can always hold the knee, you can hold onto a wall. On an inhale, turn the gaze forward, reach both arms to the sky, keep the left leg lifted, a goodbye breath in to expand. Float back to warrior 3 as you exhale, hands toward the heart. Start to bend that right knee deep. Drop step the left toes back. Crescent pose, inhale, reach the arms high above. Exhale, plant the hands on the mat. Hold there. Step your right foot back, upper push-up plank position, and pause in the top of a push-up. Lower your right forearm down toward the mat. Lower your left forearm down toward the mat. Step the inner edges of your feet together at the back of your mat and begin to spin to the blade of your back right foot. Reach your left arm up toward the sky, finding a version of side plank down on the forearm. Take an inhale as you arch the right waist away from the mat. Then exhale your left arm up and over the crown of your head. Toes drawing towards you, sitting bones reaching back, breath steady. On an inhale, left arm straight up to the sky. Exhale, left elbow down toward the mat. Pause and forearm plank. Then start to lift the hips up toward the sky, dolphin pose as you walk the toes in, walk the toes in, walk the toes in. So it's like downward facing dog, you're just on your forearms. Crown of the head is lifted from the earth. Stay here, or on an inhale, float your right leg up and off the mat. And all we're doing is lifting the leg. You're just checking it out. What's it like to be in this pose with one leg lifted? Inhale. Right toes come down as you exhale. Left toes lift on the inhale. Driving the floor away. Imagining that the shoulder blades were like paper plates sliding up your back. Take an in breath. Exhale, lower the left toes down. Take one last inhale here. Child's pose as you exhale. Knees down, hips back, reach the arms forward, bow your forehead to the earth, and then take a second and reconnect. Hands on the earth, breath in the body. A moment here to remember what the real practice of yoga is, what it brings you in touch with. As Rumi once said, life is a balance of holding on and letting go. So as we move into this second side, what is it that you need to let go of? On an inhale, rise back up to all fours. As you exhale, step the toes back, upper push-up plank position. Take an inhale and plank. Chaturanga as you exhale. Cobra up dog inhale, swoop the heart ahead. Down dog exhale, press the thighs back. Pause in down dog. Take an inhale, press the chest back. Gaze forward as you exhale, bend the knees, step, hop, or fly, feet to knee hands. Inhale, pull the chest out. Exhale, forward fold and melt. Bend the knees, drop the hips, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Now, of course, one of the great gifts of the second side is that there's a piece of you that knows what's coming. So you can rest inside of that at the same time that you practice that beautiful quality of non-attachment. Shifting the weight into the left foot, float the right knee to the chest. Stack the right thigh tightly over the left, and then hook the right elbow underneath the left, Garuda. Inner thighs hugging in as you sit a little deep. Take an inhale here. Exhale, fold the elbows past the knees. You don't have to. Inhale, lift the chest back up. Exhale, elbows past the knees. I know my practice is working when I fall out of it and I don't beat myself up. Inhale, lift the chest up one last time. Exhale as you fold, elbows past the knees. On an inhale, lift the chest back up. Keep the forearms as they are. Place the right foot down next to the left. The legs sit down into chair. Inhale here as the elbows hover away from the chest. Exhale, twist your elbows outside of your left knee. A little twisting chair with the arms in eagle pose as you sit deep. Pause where you are. Breath flowing through you. Maybe you're maintaining that balance of all four parts of the breath. Start to shift the weight into the left foot. Start to hover the right heel up and off the mat. Take an inhale. Step your right toes to the back of the mat. As you pause there in that lunge, right hand drops down outside of the left foot if it can. Left arm reaches up toward the sky as you spread the wingspan. You could always keep the hands at the heart in that gesture of prayer, or do a modified version on a block instead. You could stay here. Maybe you start to turn the left hand to face behind you. Maybe you thread the right arm underneath the left leg, and you reach through and see if there might be some hands to connect with there today. And like Rachel's doing here, she's going to hold a strap, which is so supportive to my shoulders in this practice. Deep inhale. Look down toward the earth. Maybe your right foot steps up to meet your left. Shift the weight into your right foot. Start to hug the left knee in. Press and rise all the way up towards standing. Once you get there, kick the left leg straight forward. This side might be different. You could modify like Michael and Todd and drop the back right knee to the mat. Take one last inhale. As you exhale, replace the left toes down toward the mat. Shift the weight into the left foot and then step the right toes back where we began. Right hand comes down outside of the left foot. left arm to the sky, then on an inhale, open wide, right arm back behind you, left arm forward as you cartwheel open into warrior two. And then reverse it all the way up and back, left arm up and overhead as you lift the left hip and get a sweet side stretch. Take one last inhale, warrior two as you exhale, hold there. Gaze ahead, face soft, breath steady. And you remember that balance takes patience to cultivate. One last inhale, body strong, mind at ease. Straighten the front left leg. Heel toe the back right foot in several inches so you shorten up the stance for stability. Begin to reach the left arm forward. Begin to draw the left thigh back. Trikonasana as your exhale. Left hand to shin or to a block for support if that's best. And then just hold triangle pose, this posture that is grounding and familiar, even if at times intense. Because what the research and the science shows us is that when we contract away from pain, we also contract away from aliveness. If we prevent ourselves from experiencing the things that are challenging, we also lessen our experience of joy and happiness. So again, it's okay to come face to face with what's uncomfortable, to know it. Because when you step out of this practice, you're going to know fulfillment even better from it. Take an inhale. Turn the gaze down as you exhale. Start to bend the left knee. Start to shift the left hand forward and float up into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Right leg extending back behind you. Maybe your left hand on a block. Take an inhale as you spread wide in all directions. Then exhale your top right arm up and over the crown of your head. As if you could reach your right arm away from your right foot and get longer through the right side waist as you extend. Take one more inhale as you grow in space. Then exhale, bend the right knee to the right elbow, tap and touch as we work the side obliques. Inhale, kick it all back out. Exhale, elbow to knee, tap and touch. Inhale, spread it all wide, two to go. Exhale, elbow to knee, nice and slow. Inhale, grow it out all long. Last time, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, spread it all out. Hold there. Reach the right arm straight up to the sky. Inhale. Start to bend the left knee as you exhale. Float, step the right foot back. Reverse your warrior. Inhale, left arm overhead. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Spin to the back right toes and hold. On an inhale, start to shift the fingertips forward. Float your right leg up parallel to the mat. And then you could stay there or float your hands up towards your heart, finding warrior three. In your own time and as you're ready, left leg talking to you like crazy. Press and rise all the way up to stand as the right knee floats up into your chest. Left hand to your left hip. Take the first two fingers of your right hand, reach down, hook your right big toe, or just hold your right knee. That's a great place to be. Send your right leg out toward your version of straight, or just hold the knee like Rachel is here today. Such a good place to be. Whether you have the foot or the knee, on an inhale, start to open the knee or the foot out to the right side. As you just work the inseam of the right thigh, you make some space for the body and the mind. On an inhale, come back down to center. Left hand takes the outside of the right foot or knee. Right arm opens up back behind you, and maybe you look toward that right thumb today as you find a little bit of a twist. You're doing what you need to do, modifying so that you can sustain balance and integrity. Turn the torso forward on an inhale, both arms to the sky, kick the right leg straight out ahead, say goodbye. Exhale, float back to warrior three, hands toward the heart. Start to bend the left knee deeply, drop step the right toes to the earth, crescent pose, inhale, sweep and lift. Exhale, plant the hands down toward the mat. Step the left foot back to plank. Hold up or push-up plank. Take an inhale in the top of a push-up. Lower the left elbow down toward the mat. Lower the right elbow down toward the mat. You can have the palms flat, middle finger pointing forward, or you could always catch and interlace. Walk the feet together at the back of the mat. Spin to the blade of the back left foot. Then reach the right arm up toward the sky. Find a version of side plank on your forearm that you can sustain. Right arm up and over your head as you reach it out, flexing the feet. Inhale, right arm extends back up to the sky. Exhale, place the right elbow down onto the mat. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, walk the feet in, dolphin pose. As the toes walk toward the chest. Drive the floor away out of the forearms. On an inhale, lift the right leg up and off the mat. You could stay here or start to bend the left knee and maybe take a little kick up into forearm balance if that's part of your practice. Otherwise, right where you are, lifting the leg is a great place to be. It doesn't need to be deeper. Maybe you take a little hop, maybe not. Inhale. Exhale, right toes down. Inhale, left toes lift. You could stay here or bend the right knee and take a little hop up toward your version of forearm balance here. If you're at home, maybe you take your mat toward the wall. Maybe it's just a couple little hops today. Maybe it's something you build over time. If the left leg is lifted, lower the left toes down or both toes down. Take a goodbye breath. Child's pose as you exhale, knees down, hips back, forehead to the mat. Rock the forehead a little bit side to side as if you could just massage the forehead down into the mat. And just for a moment here, cultivating balance inside of the intensity. With your eyes closed and your awareness inside, can you just call to mind one thing you feel grateful for in this moment? Just one thing. Maybe you're grateful for your breath. Maybe you're grateful that you showed up today. Maybe there's a person in your life that you're feeling especially grateful for. Call that appreciation to mind. On an inhale, rise up to all fours. Walk the toes back for your last upper push-up plank position of this practice. Take an inhale, top of a push-up plank. Exhale, chaturanga, elbow squeeze. Cobra up dog, inhale, heart elevates. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press your way up and back. Last downward facing dog of the day. Grateful for that. Inhale, press the sitting bones up and back. As you exhale, look forward and maybe jump through to sit. Or lower your knees, crawl your knees forward, cross your ankles behind you. As you pause seated, bend your knees, place your feet flat, knees pointing up toward the sky, and take your hands behind your thighs. And as your hands come behind your thighs, lean back, I know, and then lift the shins up parallel to the mat. Pause there in a version of boat pose. Reach both arms straight forward toward the top of the space. Knees could stay bent, or maybe you straighten the legs. You don't have to. Wherever you are, take an inhale. We're balancing on the sitting bones. We're working those hip flexors, not just the core. As you exhale, bend your right knee, tap your right toes to the mat, and then inhale, lift your right leg back up. Exhale, bend your left knee, tap your left toes to the mat, and then inhale, lift it back up. Just 2 more times. Right toes tap, right toes lift. Left toes tap, left toes lift. Last time, right toes tap, soft base. Right toes lift, left toes tap, left toes lift. Take a deep inhale here. Onto your back, exhale, hug your knees in. Oh my God. Right, and it's so amazing, this body. It surprises us every single time. Take an inhale. Lower the feet down as you exhale. Knees bent, feet flat. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. Create that figure 4 shape as you wrap the right thigh forward and maybe draw the left thigh in if that's what you need today. Because I'm practicing day in and day out, because I'm showing up on my mat every single day, this body that I'm having is going to be different every day. The quality of my mind, the quality of my heart, the quality of my sleep, all informing what happens in these poses, even the most familiar ones. Doesn't matter how long I've been practicing. A decade and a half in, I can show up in Warrior 2 one day and for some reason the whole body is shaking. That is the beautiful gift of a daily practice. that we are learning that every day is different, and that inside of that difference and that uncertainty, I still know how to maintain equanimity. Take an inhale. As you exhale, cactus the elbows the height of the chest. Slide the right thigh tightly on top of the left. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Drop the knees to the left. Scoop the hips to the right and take just a really sweet twist. Eyes closed. Shoulders heavy. Breath steady. On an inhale, come back to the center, uncross the legs, place the feet to the earth. Left ankle over the right knee, flex the left foot, wrap the left thigh forward. Reach down, hug the right thigh into the chest, and take several breaths. When I falter in my balance, it's an opportunity to grow and learn. And what the research shows is that every single time I learn something new, dopamine fires in the brain. And so it feels good, even though it feels challenging. Exhale. Cactus the elbows as you exhale. Left thigh slides tightly on top of the right. Drop the knees to the right. Shift the hips to the left. Take a twist. On an inhale, come back through the center. Uncross the legs, reach down, hug and squeeze the knees into the chest. Exhale, let it all go. Extend the legs forward, open the feet wide, and then the option today for extra grounding to turn the palms down onto the earth as you rest. A way of putting two hands on the earth and further cultivating a sustaining balance as you rest. On an inhale, reach the arms up and over the head, bring the legs together, reach through the toes. Create space in the body as you stretch. Draw the knees into the chest. Rock and roll your way all the way up to sit. Draw your hands together at the space of the heart. Close your eyes and bow your chin. Dr. Anna Lemke reminds us that the rewards of finding balance are neither immediate nor permanent. They require patience and maintenance. Healthy habits happen day by day. You are showing up for these 45 days. Trust the process. Trust your practice. Be inspired. Be consistent. And be the change. Namaste.
So दोस्तों इस रियली चैलेंज प्रैक्टिस जो बैलेंस की प्रैक्टिस है बहुत चैलेंज है मेरे से प्रॉपरली परफॉर्म नहीं हो सकी so just the only way we need to do practice only practice so health practice कीजिएगा प्लीज़ और अपने तासर बताइएगा थैंक यू वेरी मच अल्लाह हाफिज़